You're staring at a piece of paper that just told you your health insurance won't pay for your surgery. The clipboard just dropped, your heart is pounding, and you're realizing you might be on the hook for $20,000. You're panicking, wondering if they can really just abandon you when you need them the most. Open loops right now, because we're going to talk about exactly how the appeal process works, how the clock starts ticking the second you get that letter, and the exact words you must avoid saying when you call them on Monday morning. This is education, not legal advice. Laws change constantly, and the rules for health insurance vary heavily depending on where you live and what kind of plan you've. But understanding the general framework of how this machine operates might just save your bank account. You can't afford to walk into this fight blind because the system is literally designed to make you give up. Let's look at the actual problem. You just had a medical procedure, or you're about to have one, and the insurance company sent you a denial letter. In the medical world, a denial means they're refusing to pay the claim, sticking you with the entire bill. They use a lot of coded language, but the translation is always the same. They want you to pay it. They might say the service wasn't medically necessary. That phrase simply means the insurance company has decided you didn't really need the treatment, or that a cheaper option should have been used instead. They might say it was a pre-existing condition, meaning they think your illness or injury happened before your current insurance coverage started, so they're washing their hands of it. They might even say the procedure was experimental, claiming the treatment is too new and unproven for them to cover. Regardless of the excuse, the result is a massive bill with your name on it. The cost of ignoring this problem is absolute financial devastation. When you get that denial letter, your brain wants to shut down. It feels easier to just shove the paper into a drawer and hope it disappears. But if you ignore it, that $20,000 hospital bill doesn't vanish. It metastasizes. The hospital will start calling you every single day. They'll send the bill to a collections agency, which is a business that specializes in hunting down unpaid debts and ruining your credit. A collection account on your credit report drops your score instantly, making it impossible to get a car loan, rent an apartment, or even get hired for certain jobs. Eventually, the hospital can take you to court, get a judgment against you, and legally garnish your wages. That means they'll force your employer to skim money right out of your paycheck before it even hits your bank account. You can't run from this, and you can't hide from it. Doing nothing is the absolute worst choice you can make. It gets worse. You've a strict deadline to fight this, and they're banking on you missing it. Most insurance policies give you somewhere between 30 and 180 days to file an appeal. An appeal is the formal process of asking the insurance company to reverse their decision. If you miss that deadline by even one single day, you permanently lose your right to fight the bill. They know you're exhausted. They know you're sick, or recovering from surgery, or working a double shift just to keep the lights on. They design the system to be so confusing and intimidating that you just give up and pay the bill. It's a cold, calculated strategy. Now, let's solve this. You're going to fight back, and you're going to use the rules of the system against them. The moment you get a denial, you need to read that letter cover to cover. They're legally required to tell you exactly why they denied the claim, and they have to tell you how to appeal. Find the reason for the denial, and then look for the deadline. Circle that deadline on your calendar. You must respect the clock. Your first real move is calling your doctor. You aren't calling the insurance company to argue just yet. You're calling the medical office, specifically the billing department or the nurse navigator. You tell them your insurance denied the claim, and you ask them if they'll help you file an appeal. Doctors and hospitals want to get paid, and they would rather fight the insurance company than chase a broke patient. But if you're facing a massive bill, if the external review fails, or if the insurance company accuses you of committing fraud to get coverage, you need professional legal representation. A lawyer who specializes in insurance bad faith can step in and force the company to the table. Insurance bad faith is a legal term describing a situation where an insurance company intentionally refuses to pay a valid claim without a good reason. If you can prove they acted in bad faith, you can sue them for the original medical bill, plus extra damages, plus your attorney fees. Lawyers take these cases on contingency, meaning they only get paid if they win money for you. You don't need a huge retainer to get a good attorney to look at a bad faith case. Here's a concrete scenario to show you exactly how this plays out. Let's say you threw out your back at work. Your doctor says you need an MRI to see if you herniated a disc. A herniated disc is when the soft cushion between the bones in your spine slips out of place and presses on a nerve, causing severe pain. Your insurance company denies the MRI, claiming it isn't medically necessary and suggesting you just take over-the-counter pain pills and rest. You're in agonizing pain, and the MRI costs $3,000 out of pocket. You don't just accept the pain. You read the denial letter, check the deadline, and call your doctor. Your doctor agrees the MRI is absolutely necessary and writes a 2-page letter detailing your symptoms, your physical exam, and the specific medical guidelines that require an MRI before surgery can even be considered. You send that letter, along with your appeal form, via certified mail to the insurance company. The insurance company has one of their own doctors review it. That doctor still says no, trying to save the company money. You don't stop there. You immediately file for an external review. You fill out the form provided in your denial letter, and the state assigns your case to an independent neurologist. The neurologist reads your file, looks at your doctor's letter, and decides the insurance company was completely wrong. The neurologist issues a binding decision forcing the insurance company to pay for the MRI. You win simply because you followed the process and refused to roll over when they said no. The system is intimidating, and the paperwork is designed to scare you away. But you've a playbook, and you've rights. You've the right to know why a claim was denied. You've the right to appeal. You've the right to an independent review. When you know how to use those rights, the insurance company loses their power over you. Let's talk about another common roadblock they throw at you. Sometimes they deny a claim because they say you went out of network. A network is a specific list of doctors and hospitals the insurance company has agreed to pay. If you go outside that list, they claim they don't have to pay a dime. But there are massive exceptions to this rule, especially in emergencies. If you're having a heart attack and an ambulance takes you to the closest hospital, which happens to be out of network, they generally can't deny the claim based on network status. They have to pay for emergency care. If they deny it anyway, you file an appeal stating it was a medical emergency. You use the same process, relying on your medical records to prove you had no choice in where you received care. Navigating this requires a cool head. You can't let your anger cause you to miss a deadline. The moment you see the words denied or claim rejected, you need to treat it like a ticking clock. Take a breath, gather your paperwork, call your doctor, and start writing. The insurance industry relies on the statistical probability that you'll do nothing. Be the exception to their statistics. Stand your ground, use the rules they wrote against them, and make them pay for the coverage you pay them to provide. If you've ever had to fight an insurance company over a medical bill, what was the most ridiculous reason they gave you for denying your claim? Tell me your story down in the comments below. If this breakdown gave you a shield for your next phone call with the insurance company, send it to a buddy who is currently stressing over a massive medical bill. And make sure you subscribe to Scribble Law so you always know the playbook before someone tries to back you into a corner.